Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, everybody, especially for the students of English, whether English for educational sciences, English for language, or English for Islamic studies. Today, we are going to discuss about how to write the scientific journal, especially for the second week assignment, and then because we have to write, or we have to know how to write the first reading report. The second one is mini research based paper. Reading report is for the assignment to the independent assignment of student to read the books that I gave, and for making a report based on the reading report should be the basic or the sort of student presentation per weeks, 10 minutes in front of the class. And a mini research based paper is for vinyl test. Well, before going on to know the reading report or mini research based paper, we have to understand the structure of scientific article. There are many components of scientific article, such as abstract. So what is abstract? Abstract is the means of conclusion. So abstract can be taken from conclusion, but there is the specific criteria of the component of abstract in it. And the second one is introduction, and method, and result, and discussion, and conclusion and implication. Many writers or journal writer shorten the introduction, method, result, discussion, and conclusion and implication to be IMRAD. IMRAD means I for introduction, M for method, R for result, A for end, discussion, D, and conclusion and implication. So that is very easy to remember that IMRAD is the component of the structures of article. Okay, guys, let's go to abstract. So what is abstract? As we know that abstract is the main of conclusion. So how to make the abstract? The first step, you have to create the research space. For example, if you are at language classes, you have to understand the view of the language itself. If you are the student of Islamic education, or you are the student of Islamic studies, you have to create the field of your interested research. This is the abstract. And the second one, how to implement this first step. State the importance of the field that you discussed. And the second one, it is the example. Minangkabaunis is commonly known for its ragam adat, a specific cultural traditional style of the language that has been regarded as having a high value. However, over the last 2 decades, the ragam adat tends to dry up. This is the burning issue or the field that you interested in your research. The second, show the gaps or the weakness, the latest or the premier studies, and then you can say However, but or unfortunately, this is the example. This theory, minimalist theory, stand out for its greater power of generalization, and yet it lacks the capacity to explain some natural language data, namely language not only as a set grammatical sentence but also a mean of social communication reflecting socio-cultural values. Okay, guys. And the third, to draw the studies that you do. For example, the purpose of this research. This is the very popular word, the very popular sentence that you have to write down in your research, in reading or in mini research based paper. This paper is to present truly the orthography of the language in our regency. Okay, and then and the second basis is you have to arrange the research procedures. This one, explore the data and the research method that you conduct to answer the question. And this is the example. Data are taken from audio recording. Verbal reaction from the interaction in class are analyzed using the critical discourses analysis theory based on the principle of systematic functional grammar. Okay, the third step is you have to conclude the result of research. Okay, it could be done by stating briefly the result of the main research according to the purposes. It can be concluded, this is the example, it can be concluded that the interpersonal relationship is still very much dominated by the teacher, who had the managerial authority as well as the knowledge in class. And then the fourth step, evaluating your research result. How to evaluate? The evaluation and comparisons of the studies with the other research. For example, the research indicates that speakers of Indonesian are only capable of using the language in survival and social communication. Okay, so let's we are going to continue to the first component in the content of journal, introduction. Okay, the first step is you have to locate, okay, or you have to focus on your view on your topic. The first step is you have to make a central claim. What is central claims? It is for the international specialist audience. For example, recently there has been considerable interest in Islamic Sharia law in the state. Okay, in recent years, a number of scholars have re-examined the role of Islamic law in the state. This is the central claim. In the last few years, the issues of Islamic Sharia has attracted a lot of interest. Or in the audience for international multidisciplinary audience, for example, Islamic Sharia, language, education, and so on and so forth. Let's look like media coverage of the Afghan burqa and the recent revival of the dispute over headscarves in Europe have drawn a great deal of public attention to veilings among Muslim women. Okay, the second step is to make generalization of the study. For example, many people that there have been renewed effort to establish Islamic law in Indonesia since the fall of Suharto. This view has received a considerable support recently. For example, blah blah blah. There have been many critics to the view that, okay, the second step is to making generation of the studies. Some Islamic partners in Indonesia have attempted to revive Islam Sharia in Indonesia. Recently, Indonesia and several other countries in Asia were hit by tsunami disaster. Arguably, Indonesia is having a multifaceted crisis. Okay, the third step, you have to review the latest study. For example, Clark that conducted research or conducted the data from bahasa of children, 8 anaknya sendiri, okay, her own children, report there, blah 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 blah. So what is the content of the report? And then the second step is you have to locate of the studies. The first step is making contrast to the other research claim. However, for example, this approach suffers from a number of weaknesses, blah blah blah. However, the claim has several limitations. Unfortunately, this view is rather weak, so on and so forth. And the second step is to show the gaps in literature. For example, extensive literature exists on this topic, especially in the field of sociology and ethnology. To most of the work referred to passage in the Quran as one of the reasons prevailing that the research has actually explored the details of this passage and the shifts in the interpretation by later generation. The third step, you have to make the new question. The study is quite informative, but there are still questions to be answered. From this study, one important question remains unanswered. Okay, the fourth step is to continue the tradition. Studies about the impact of tsunami have covered only the areas around Banda Aceh. The study should also cover other areas in order to gain a more complete picture of the impact of disaster. The third step, to draw your own studies. You have to state the underline or the outlines, the purposes. You have to write down your purpose in your writing. For example, the purpose of this study are to know blah blah blah, to know the development of language, for example, or to know the development of Islamic education, or to know the effectiveness of the education model or instructional models, and so forth. The study was designed in order to like this. And then the third step is to draw your own study. In second step, you state your study that you have to report. For example, the study examined the implementation of liberal democracy in Indonesia since Indonesia independence. In this research, rhetorical version of research articles were studied. And then, number 3, you describe the structure of the scientific article. For example, this article followed the following structure, blah 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 blah. This is for introduction. This article is structured in following ways, blah blah blah. Okay. This is very important for the language for writing report. Tenses. If it is past, okay, you have to use past tense. If there is no indicator for the past tense, future tense, a future tense can be relevant. If you discuss one issue, so you have to use present tense. So, for example, the issue of corruption, you have to use present tense. If you want to describe the Communist Party of Indonesia, you have to use past tense. Or if you want to know the improvements of Indonesian countries, you can use future tense. Okay, number 2 is methodology. IMRAD, methodology. Method is very general, so you have to discuss generally. For example, this study utilizes a true experimental design with a random sampling assignment involving certain respondents per control group and same number of respondents of control group. Okay, if the method is very unique or specific or unusual, so you have to discuss very complete discussion. And then the tenses, it should be used past tense. So for methodology, using past tense. Result, number 3 is result. A result discussion, result and discussion, it could be spirited. Results mean the findings of the research. Discussion is we discuss the correlation between the findings and the theory that have that we want to combine, we want to describe. There is the correlation between theory and our finding. So discussion is very larger than the result. The result contents of the data. Okay, for example, you have to rewrite the purpose of the research that be stated in the late chapter, and then report your finding or your result that scope the largest scope first, and then the complete study after that. So result and discussion, it could be uniting or it could be spirited. First, structure AB. Yeah, the result is followed by comment. Then the result is followed by comment, and so on and so forth. So finding or result, comment, result, comment. So if you want to make the unite of result and discussion, so finding or result of our research, okay, is followed by the comment. Comments related to the theory, comment to related to the other research, and so on and so forth. For example, in quantitative research, you can show in your report, show the quantitative result, then you comment, you describe, you make a correlation between the theory and the quantitative that you saw. Or AB, or in spirited one, A, you show the finding or the result, and follow B, you comment the result. Okay, this one is structure AB. Okay, write down the findings and then you follow by the comment. So the result have to comment holistically. Comment. All the comment is for the result. Discussion is showing the informations from the background. Okay, and then, for example, according to the 4 steps above, the data have 15 main research, and so on and so forth. So you have to show the information of the background. Okay, and then you have to show the conclusion of the findings. Okay, and then you can see in your table and so on and so forth. Okay, you give the comments whether the result of the research is suitable to the hypothesis or not. Okay, for example, okay, according to the hypothesis, the study, and blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. So you have to give some comment is related to the hypothesis. So you have to remember your hypothesis, because the hypothesis is the temporary answer of our research question. So you have to correlate to the other research result. Okay, this is the example. Okay, and then you have to describe or explain your result in your research. Yeah, this one. Okay, you can read it. This is in Indonesia. You can read, and then you make a generalization that you got from the research. Okay, this one you can read. Okay, and then you make recommendations to the next researcher. Okay, this one, and then the tense. In your research finding and discussion, you have to use present tense. For example, put the study in the morphosyntactic feature of Uma Kulit aims to demonstrate that Uma Kulit is indeed a kayak variant despite these cases with local knowledge, meets a membered history. This is the example. So you make a present tense. Thank you very much for your attention. See you, and maybe I will give you some description how to make a reading report and how to make a mini research based paper. Thank you very much. See you next. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.